everyone, my name's George Farmer and this video is going to show you how I plant up my 120cm aquarium at home. I've already done a little bit of preparation work on the aquarium, so I've added 3 9-litre bags of soil and I've topped off the soil with some water to make the planting process much easier, and I've also added some wooden rocks, and I've positioned the wooden rocks to try and make the aquascape look as natural and as interesting as possible. The plants I'm going to be using are all Dennerle, and they're all actually really easy plants, and hopefully it will show you guys that you don't necessarily need demanding plants to create a beautiful aquascape. So the first plant I'm going to use is Cryptocoryne Wendertii Brown. This is a classic mid-ground plant, but Dennerle have actually provided me with some really beautiful tall plants, so I might actually put these towards the background. As with most Cryptocorynes, it doesn't need much light, it doesn't demand much CO2, so it's an ideal plant for beginners. You can get a little bit of crypt melt, so some of the leaves can die back, but normally it grows back no problem at all. You can see the roots have grown right through the pots, which actually makes it quite tricky to remove. So what I use is scissors, just to take the pot away from the rock wool, and then trim the other side, and then you can peel back the pot, no problem at all. And then you can trim the roots back, and then using a bucket of water, remove the rock wool, and then split up the plant into several portions like so, and then just repeat that process with all the plants. So I've prepared the Cryptocoryne Wendertii Brown into individual portions like so, and then what I'll do is plant them towards the sides and the rear of the aquascape. So now we're ready to plant our Cryptocoryne Wendertii Brown. So really simple, get the plant, put it in between your tweezers. I'm using quite long tweezers with a curved end to make it easier, and then set into the soil. And just repeat that process. So I'm going to go all the way along the back and into the sides a little bit, and eventually that will grow. These will grow from the rosette. Sometimes it does send out runners, but more often than not it will just carry on growing new leaves from the same place. Next we have some Cryptocoryne Wendertii Compact. So I'm going to plant that just around the rocks, and it'll be a lovely transition from the soil up to the rock. And it's exactly the same planting process as before. So remove the label, remove the pot, remove the rock wool, and then split it up into several portions. And then you can just tear the roots back to make the planting process simpler, easier, and that will stimulate new root growth as well. And we just repeat that for the other pots. So we've prepared our Cryptocoryne Wendertii Compact into several individual portions, and now we can plant that using the same method as before. So put your plant in between your tweezers and then push it into the soil. So next I'm going to plant a mixture of Cryptocoryne affinis and Cryptocoryne becketii, and deliberately going to mix these up just to create a more natural effect in the aquascape. So I've prepared the pots exactly the same as before, removed it from the pot, removed the rock wool, divided it into the portions and trimmed the roots back. I'm going to plant this intermittently between the other Cryptocorynes, and that's just going to mix the textures, mix the colours, and just help create a more natural effect. My favourite style of aquascaping is nature aquarium, and it's all about trying to create a natural look as possible. And I really love mixing textures up to help achieve that. So the crypts, they might die off a little bit, you might get some of the leaves, they might, what they call melt or disintegrate over the next couple of weeks, and that's really common. But new growth will be fully adapted to its underwater environment, and they shouldn't melt after that. So next we have some Legendra Meoboldii Red. It's quite similar to Cryptocoryne, similar kind of growth pattern, but the leaves will hopefully go like a really nice deep burgundy browny red colour, and it will add a nice bit of colour and a nice bit of impact to the aquascape. So I'm going to plant that quite centrally, just underneath the wood there. So prepared it exactly the same way as the Cryptocoryne, and we plant it exactly the same way too. Okay, so we've got most of the Cryptocorynes in there now, and they've been in there quite a while, so it's really important they don't dry out, so we use our spray mister. So next we're going to plant Cryptocoryne lucens. I'm just going to plant that towards the foreground, mix it in slightly with your other Cryptocorynes, and that will help enhance that natural effect that we're looking at. So prepared it exactly the same way as before. If there's any long roots, you can just give them a bit of a trim back, and that will help with planting. And pop it into the soil. So now we're ready to plant our final Cryptocoryne species. This is a beautiful little species that I've not used before, Cryptocoryne litre hobbit. So definitely a foreground plant, hopefully it will stay really small. I'm just going to pop that into the foreground. We prepared it exactly the same way as before. So all the Cryptocorynes are in there now. I'm going to give them a good spray to stop them from drying out. So I'm going to plant some Monocosaurus pteropus petite. I've moved it from the pot, prepared it the same way as the Cryptocoryne by removing the rock wall, rinsing it all off. And I've already attached some Monocosaurus narrow leaf just there. I haven't used string, I haven't super glued it, I've literally inserted it into the nooks and crannies, the crossovers, and it should stay in place. So I think I'll pop this over to the left over here, fill in this little gap. And here we have another plant. I'm just going to do the same sort of thing. There's a nice gap there. It just wedges in there perfectly. And there's another gap over here. So remove the label, remove the rock wool, insert it into the space, like so. And it's really important that we don't let the plants dry out. So the next plant I'm going to use is a Nubius barteri coin leaf. Has a beautiful leaf shape, much more rounded, hence the term coin leaf. Has a beautiful ruffled appearance, and that's going to be added just to some space around there, just to really fill up the central area of the aquascape. So remove the label, remove the pot. We have the plant prepped, and then we can insert that just there, perfect. Prepared another pot of the coin leaf there. I've just seen a lovely gap just there. We can poke the roots into that space, and there we go, that's attached perfectly. Give it another spray. Okay, so that's the planting complete. Now we're ready to fill up with water. So now I'm going to fill the aquarium up with water. I pump it straight from my tap, use some dechlorinator, a hose and a glass outlet there which just hooks over the side of the aquarium, and then into my special red colander which helps diffuse the water, stops it from creating too much turbulence in the soil. And it's much easier than just going buckets. This is 240 litres of water potentially, so much easier to use a tap and a pump. So that's the aquascape complete now. I'm really happy with it. It'll look even better in a few days once the plants have got used to the light and they all start going upright. They're all kind of curled over and feeling a little bit sorry for themselves because they've been in their packaging for quite a long time. I still need to fit the filters and the CO2 kit. I'll put the lighting on a timer and I'll dose the fertilisers, etc. But the plants I'm using, they're all easy plants. They're all plants that anyone can achieve success with. So we're using lots of Cryptocoryne species. We've got the Legendra there, Java ferns and Anubias. All classic easy plants. Don't need CO2, don't need lots of fertilisers. So it just shows hopefully that you can achieve an attractive aquascape with relatively easy plants. So if you want to find out more about Dennerle plants, there is a catalogue available from your local Dennerle stockist. It has all her species in there, very comprehensive. And it has some great photography actually, I think from Chris Lukow about different biotopes. So yeah, look out for that. I will hopefully do some update videos on this aquascape, so keep tuned. If you do like what you see, hit that like button. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and keep on scaping. Take care. Cheerio.